Bonds hits one high. Hits it deep. It is out of here. 7:56. Bonds stands alone.
Now Booker with Tucker on him. Throws it up for 8. Shot blocked by Antetokounmpo. What a block from Giannis.
17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan, open. Chicago with the lead.
Minute remaining. And they're putting Curry in the pick and roll, trying to get him on Irving. Irving and Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good. Kyrie Irving from downtown.
We're sending it in, Jerome. That's for damn sure.
Yes. What is up, everybody? Welcome to Taproom Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Jordan Stacks Lats. Joined as always with my guys, Mr. Big Ball and Ben Larson.
Sir.
And Swerving Irving Washington. What's up, fellas? How are we doing this evening?
Doing good.
Yeah, can't complain. Good, interesting days of football these last 2 days.
Yeah, it was crazy ass.
Trying to figure out what injuries are happening, who's playing, who's not playing.
Should be interesting going into the playoff weekend.
Yeah,
We'll obviously
we got
get
golf
in.
back. We got tennis back. Sorry.
Yes. We do got golf. Tennis is definitely full swing. We got the Aussie Open coming up, so we got a bunch of 250s going on last weekend, this weekend. Shout out to fucking Holger Rune for, letting us down last night. That was awesome. But yeah, man, excited. The Century was awesome, man. Shout out to Chris Kirk winning his first major. Congratulations to him. Dominant last 2 days. Really took the field by storm. But with that being said, we got a lot of football to talk about. Obviously, we're going to recap Week 18. We're going to preview some of the playoffs as well as we talk about some of the games. Kind of look ahead to which coaches we think are going to be fired as well. Black Mondays tomorrow. I was actually shocked that Ron Rivera hadn't been fired yet. I thought he was going to get fired right after the game. That has not happened yet. But we are being brought to you by the Sharps.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the ones. We are being brought to you by the Sharps app, SHARPZ. Download it to your mobile device. Use it to track your bets. Become a better. Know what you're good at betting. Know what you're bad at betting. Use promo code JORD517. It's free to download. We appreciate y'all. It's good for you too as well. So download that shit. That being said, let's just hop right into football or what?
Are you drinking anything special tonight?
I'm not. I'm sipping on some Starry.
Okay. I'm going with some brown
are you
stuff
sipping?
now, but then I got I'm gonna head off screen for a couple seconds and go get a beer because I've got the new the new Sierra Nevada.
Oh, nice.
It's the or not, is it Sierra Nevada? Yeah. It's the hazy. Their new hazy. It's a dank hazy. So
Oh, okay. Nice.
yeah, it's part of their God, it's not a little something. That's
Lagunitas.
That's Lagunitas. I don't have an empty can over here, but it's part of their series, and they did like a regular hazy, a fruited hazy, and now it's a danky hazy. So
Nice.
Your ass can hit.
Nice.
I'm gonna get hit. I'm getting hit.
Oh no, I'm talking about my brother.
I was gonna say, like, damn, what am I doing?
Nice. Hell yeah, man. Excited to hear about that one for sure. Yeah, I'm not drinking tonight. I was on Nick's stream last night with him, ref that bets. I was for the whole Colts game and had a little one too many last night. So recovering tonight. But that was a fun time last night. That was a fun time for anyone that tuned in. That was good stuff. Anyways, football. Should we just start with yesterday's games? Start with Saturday's games. We'll move over. So first game we had was the Ravens and Steelers. Ravens basically rested all their starters. must-win game for the Steelers, which we talked about last week. Steelers end up pulling it out. They were 4-point favorites, or 3. Did they close 3-point favorites or 4?
3.5.
3.5, and then they end up winning by
3.5.
7. I honestly I didn't really watch much of the game. I could care less about that game. But what was your guys' thoughts on that game? Obviously, TJ Watt is now out for next week, so that's a huge fucking blow to the Steelers. But what was your guys' thoughts on that game? Kind of just the Ravens just packing it up.
Yeah, must-win game for the Steelers. Ravens pretty much didn't play their guys. They was getting ready for that bye week, get healthy. The Steelers had to win, but it cost them their best player next week. So I don't think that's a good look.
Nah,
It wasn't even that bad of a play where he got hurt, but
Yeah.
I mean, he's there. They're saying possible ACL, MCL. Like,
Grade 2 MCL sprain, so he's gonna miss 2 weeks minimum. So it's a
Okay.
2 to 3 week injury. So I don't think
And-
who they playing in the first round. They're
the
playing.
Bills.
Bills.
Yeah, I don't think they would have beat the Bills with him. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
he
huge
could
blow.
he could get ready for the offseason.
Huge blow. Yeah. That's honestly that's why like was that Bills Dolphins game was hella important tonight because you know if the Bills lose that game, they have to go to Kansas City. Dolphins lose that game, they go to Kansas City, right? Instead of playing the Steelers. So basically that win for the Bills, which we'll talk about shortly, that was huge. Let's move over to Houston at Indy. This was the game of the
Quick question there. Before we go on to that next game, Mason Rudolph. Do we think we see him next week, or are they going to go back?
No, Kenny Pickett might get cut or traded. He's in the ultimate doghouse with the Steelers organization.
Yeah. So we're seeing Rudolph.
Yeah.
For what,
Okay.
next week?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's been starting over Pickett for the last 2 weeks. Pickett's been healthy.
Yeah, but
He
he
was
refused.
questionable last week, but this week.
The game before this, what game was that? The Bengals game.
Yeah,
He refused to be
the backup.
Yeah.
the backup, so they put him as a healthy scratch and ineffective. But he's pretty much. I think his days in Pittsburgh is numbered. Honestly.
Yeah, they're over. They're absolutely over. And I'm not saying Mason Rudolph is the answer, but I mean he's 3-0 as a starter. You can't really take that away from him, and he's actually looked decent. Compared
I
to
saw
like,
a comment on Twitter that helmet hit made him a good QB from Miles Garrett. That's what people saying.
I mean,
Shook some shit into him.
hey,
Yeah.
sometimes sitting down and like just kind of learning and witnessing things is kind of the best possibility. And like at the very least, going forward, he's earned himself probably a backup career for the rest of his career. So like he's earned generational money. So shout out to him for that. I do think the Steelers got to kind of figure out the quarterback position though. Obviously, that's a huge question mark going into next year. And
This is the draft to do it.
yeah, no, it is. And like, Penix is like a perfect example. Like Penix, there's a lot of talk that he's going to slide out the first round because of his injury history. And, that's like a perfect landing spot. Like a team that is already got a lot of pieces there and kind of just needs a quarterback. And like, obviously the Steelers are like, a great foundational organization. Like everything is intact. Like, Mike Tomlin's only their third head coach in 60 years, dude. That's like insane. So I think that's like a perfect landing spot for a guy like Penix or even Bo Nix for that, for what it's worth. Although I don't think Bo Nix is worth shit, but I could see that be a good landing spot. All right, let's move over to Houston and Indy. This game was crazy because in the morning we saw this line go up to 2, and then right before kick we saw it drop down to 1, -1 Houston. So that's what we talked about it as. We also, the over total was 47. It goes under, and the Texans win outright. The Colts, who's that running back? He dropped a wide open pass for the first down. Bonehead.
First head breaking news: Adam Schefter, first head coach fired is Arthur Smith.
Oh, see, and that was going to be my question. Was Arthur Smith, because of the way he got fired up at the end of the game to show his his passion for the team, was that going to be something that would save him enough? But obviously not.
I think if you fire Arthur Smith though, you got to fire that GM
Yeah, the GM got to go too.
because he's the one responsible for not getting a good quarterback. You know, Arthur Smith kind of playing in the hands he's dealt. You know, you give him Ritter or Heineke, he's doing the. I wouldn't say he's doing the best he can, but he's doing what he can, right? So I think you got to fire the GM too. You can't just fire Arthur Smith. You cannot let that GM make the next hire, dude, at all. But interesting, Arthur Smith's the first one. Thought it for sure would be Rivera. All right, Texans, Colts, Texans. This was the game of the night. This was win and you're in the playoffs. Texans win. 23-19 was the final score. Total goes
Tyler
under.
Goodson.
Who? That was the
Tyler Goodson.
That was the running back that dropped it.
Yep.
Yeah, that was brutal, dude. He was wide open.
Yeah.
That was brutal. You gotta make that catch.
Yeah, I mean, you got to make a better pass
After the
too.
game,
For
he
Gardner.
said he's gonna call his mom because he's pretty sure that's the only person that loves him right now.
Yeah, saw that too. But I also think that you got to make a better pass there. You know, that ball was behind him. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt there. You got to catch that ball, but if you're Gardner Minshew, you got to put that ball like literally in his hands, and it wasn't. So I give him a little bit of a benefit of the doubt, even though he should have caught that ball.
Should have caught it.
Should have caught it, yeah.
Absolutely should have caught that. But you know, the Texans sneak away with a W, and they are in the playoffs. CJ Stroud's rookie year wins the division.
Yeah.
Hosting a playoff game against the Browns next weekend. Should
I also
be huge.
thought, with our luck, Cameron Johnson running it out of the end zone with fucking 1 second left. Like, do another fucking zigzag, like run like a fucking chicken with your head cut off, and get that clock down and end it. Like, you can't give them the opportunity to get that extra kick. You end that game on a safety.
Yeah, I mean the game was the Colts weren't going to drive down the field in like 2
Maybe
seconds.
get that punt return. That's what we
Colts-
saw it today. You get a punt return for a touchdown. It happens. I think there was another game that had a punt return maybe last week.
Yeah, but I mean like the odds of getting a punt return, obviously,
3 innings.
it's
Yeah.
obviously possible, but the odds are
That's
just
the
totally
stakes.
not in your
They
favor.
Yeah.
However, I do think, you know, if you're Indianapolis, like I wouldn't hang your head. You know, you had a phenomenal season, and like nobody expected you to even be in this position, and especially when
with Anthony Richardson.
exactly, especially with Richardson going down. So I mean, the future is bright in Indy. They definitely got to fix that defense. So, they kept Gus Bradley because he's like this defensive guru, and that defense sucked all year, dude. They were good yesterday, except for a couple blown coverages, but yeah, they got to get better there. All right, let's move into the Sunday night game. Buffalo.
The GM will not be fired. Terry Fontenot will keep his job. Arthur Blank and Rich McKay will have input from general manager, but they will be leading the new head coaching search.
Huge mistake, dude. Absolute huge mistake. You can't hold like, oh my god, that's brutal. That's a terrible decision. All right, Buffalo at Miami. This was the game of the week. Winner wins the AFC East. Massive game. Josh Allen, 3 turnovers in this game, but Buffalo manages to win. Josh Allen goes 30 of 38, 359 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 INTs, Tua 17 of 27, 173 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. A lot of talk that Tyreek Hill is still pretty banged up too. He didn't look right for a lot of that game. But nonetheless, Buffalo sneaks out of there with a W. Took a punt return touchdown, but it happened. You know, we all liked Buffalo in this game. We talked about it last week in the NFL preview show. Saw a lot of you know, sharp guys on Miami as the line closed 2.5 when it was 3 all week. So I was pretty shocked by that. Didn't understand that, but what was your guys' thoughts on this game here?
I thought the big thing was second half for Miami. You are so successful running the ball in the first half, and then you go absolutely away from it in the second. I know the Bills adjusted somewhat, but with only 3 attempts to rush the ball in the second half, when you have 17 for what was it like 81, and you end 20 for 108.
Yep.
Like how do you not continue to run the ball? Because they were, I mean, Achan was running it down their throat. I know you don't want to get him hurt. You put Jeff Wilson in there and he's averaging 5 yards a carry. You just got to continue that and beat it down their throat, and they did not do that whatsoever.
Yeah, Mike McDaniels loved falling in love with the pass. The main thing is Miami had too many opportunities, all those turnovers, and they couldn't capitalize on none of them. And the turnover that Miami did, Bills got 7 points out of that on that drive where he threw the touchdown pass to Knox. So it was just the Bills been the better team. They've been hot down the stretch. They've been in playoff mode for like the last month. So, and then the Dolphins are limping into the playoffs. I know they're banged up, but I didn't see. I'm surprised the game was actually this close. If it wasn't for Josh Allen's turnovers, all in the red zone, pretty much, this game could have got pretty ugly.
Yeah, but that worries me moving forward. Especially, I guess next week you've got Pittsburgh, and that's not going to be too difficult because you're only going to have to put up 14, 21 points again.
I mean, we said the same thing against the fucking Patriots.
Yeah, like when you when you struggle like that, that's going to continue into the playoffs. And once you get up against a top level team, I know they are a top level team, but
the one thing about
capitalize.
The one thing about Josh Allen though is like he makes some of the dumbest fucking turnovers, dude. But he also makes plays that like arguably only him and Mahomes can make. So sometimes you have to like live with the turnovers, but like some of them are like brutally bad. Like you shouldn't throw them. But like I said, dude, like some of those throws he made tonight, like there's only one other guy in the league that can make those throws. You know what I mean? So it's like sometimes you got to kind of like live and die with how he plays. Like he's very aggressive. He's always been that way. You just, and sometimes it kills you, and it did for, they were like 1-6 in one score games at one point this year. Like big part of it was because of Josh Allen's turnovers, like the Jets game to start the year. Josh Allen throws 2 turnovers. He doesn't have those turnovers, they win that game easily.
Yeah.
So he's definitely got to hang on to the ball, especially like you said, Ben. Against Pittsburgh, it might not come back to hurt him, but Irv said it, dude. Like this game should have been a blowout if it wasn't for those fucking turnovers, dude.
Yeah.
And also the thing with his turnovers is they always happen at like the most inopportune times, dude. You know what I mean? Like it's always in the red zone, and they always happen like the when you don't need them to happen. So he definitely got to get that shit together. Because if he did, he'd be the best quarterback in the league.
Yep. I mean, to be honest, I don't see any team winning a playoff game with three turnovers.
Nah, but I mean, Josh Allen could do it.
Yeah.
So could Mahomes. Maybe not this year because Mahomes don't got any receivers, but
yeah.
Good quarterbacks right there. 2 best quarterbacks in the league, in my opinion. All right. Raiders, Broncos. Raiders close 3.5-point favorites. They went outright 27-14. The big question going for the Raiders going into the offseason is, do they extend Antonio Pierce as their head coach? And then for the Broncos, obviously they're going to be without Russell Wilson, right, Irv? And it's kind of like, how did they look going forward with Sean Payton at the helm?
Got to find a QB.
Yeah, but that's like the hardest thing to do.
How many years did they pay Stidham?
He's only on a 2-year deal.
2 year, okay. So do you have another like an interim year to see if you can get a better draft pick than you got this year, being 8 and 9?
Yeah, but you don't hire Sean Payton to like fucking
have an
tank.
interim year. Yeah.
Yeah. So we got to figure it out. The QB position, that's the biggest key. We got everything else we need.
What draft pick do they have?
Do you guys have your draft pick this year?
Yeah, we do.
They're probably like 13th, 14th.
Yeah, let's see.
2024 draft order. Can't believe Arizona has 4. Broncos 12. Bears, Commies, Patriots, Cardinals, Chargers, Giants, Titans, Falcons, Bears, Jets, Vikings, Broncos.
Wait, the Cardinals got 4 first-round picks?
No,
No, they have 2.
They're pick number 4.
Oh, pick number 4. Oh,
Yeah.
they didn't get pick number 3?
Nope.
Nah,
Patriots.
Patriots because they lost today.
I don't think the Patriots gonna draft Marvin Harrison Jr. though. Damn, the Commanders might draft him though.
The Commanders might, yeah. Or unless if they believe in Howell, they will. If they don't believe in Howell,
I think it depends on who they hire as their GM and head coach.
yeah.
Damn, the Chargers got the 5th overall pick. Imagine Marvin Harrison Jr. going to them.
I mean, dude, they might still give Malik Neighbors.
That's true too.
But I mean, they could also use like Joe Alt or that one dude from Penn State, the left tackle. I'm gonna butcher his last name. I mean, they drafted offensive line for like 3 years, dude. They got like 3 good offensive linemen. Rashawn Slater, he's legit. Like, bro, it's just that franchise is cursed, dude. Like, no one can stay healthy. Like, you go to that franchise and everyone just fucking gets hurt, dude. But they definitely got to get a receiver because Keenan Allen's getting old and Mike Williams can't stay fucking healthy. Quentin Johnson is average. Average at best. But what do you think about Antonio Pierce to the Raiders? You think the Raiders keep Antonio Pierce at this point?
Hopefully they should. You know, the locker room wants him. He's a team guy. He's a player first coach. He had him playing pretty damn good down the stretch. Well, he had the defense playing pretty well down the stretch. The OC got to get fired if he does get kept. They do got some questions at the quarterback position because Jimmy G can't hack it no more. And Aiden O'Connell is a rookie, but I don't see his ceiling being much better than what it is right now, honestly, because dude is just too inaccurate right now. And
Yep. Yeah, I definitely think they. I mean, I thought after they won the that Chiefs game, that basically solidified that they were going to keep Antonio Pierce. I just don't see it how they get rid of him. There's talks that like they're going to hire John Gruden back to like have some kind of front office role because I mean they're already paying him, so might as well pay him to work.
well, keep his ass far away from the draft.
See, but I don't know who. I don't know if it was him or
No, it was him. Mayock even came out and said it. That
well, of course,
it was him.
Mayock's gonna say he's covering his own ass.
But
Taking Leatherwood at 17. Should have been a 2nd-round pick.
I mean, if you like a guy, you like it.
Final straw.
Celine Farrell is another bad one. I mean, they've done.
Yeah.
It wasn't just the Leatherwood pick; they had a lot of bad, but they also had some good picks too. Josh Jacobs was a good pick.
Yeah. Not covering Henry Ruggs' ass, so he
it took you that long.
wasn't getting a fucking DUI crash.
And Ruggs, I mean, he was looking like a good draft pick until that. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that was so unfortunate because he was coming into his own.
Damon Arnett, that was a terrible fucking pick.
Yeah. Then Cleveland Farrell.
That was a terrible fucking pick. They had a lot of bad picks, but they had some good ones too. They did have some good ones. All right, Chiefs at Chargers. This is the Chiefs backups against fucking Easton Stick. Chiefs win 13-12. Chargers were 4.5-point favorites. The Chargers job is probably going to be the most sought after job in the offseason. I think Jim Harbaugh wins tomorrow in the national championship, and I think he's the Chargers head coach come next week.
What about Belichick, though?
Nah, Belichick ain't going to the Chargers.
Where's Belichick going to go, though? Or is he just going to retire?
Man, I honestly think he stays with the Patriots.
I think
The way
probably
he was
stays
talking today, I don't
probably
know.
1 or 2 more years. I wouldn't be surprised if he resigned and just takes a front office role. So
Yeah.
But he wants to break Bill Walsh's record.
Bill Washington got the record.
Or whoever the fuck got it. Who is it? Seifert?
Don Shula.
Don Shula. He wants to break Don Shula's record.
How many games is he away from breaking that record?
26, I think.
Oh, okay. So he's probably gonna be there for a couple more years then.
Might be less than that, to be honest. I know it's like under 30. So I mean, like, obviously the Chargers would be the best job to like do it, but I don't even know if the Chargers want him, dude, or if they're gonna pay the money for him.
Yeah, he needs to win 26 more games. He's in third place right now with 302 wins.
Yeah. So I think, honestly, I think he stays with the Patriots, dude. I do not see Robert Kraft being like, dude, you gotta go.
Yeah, he's not firing Bill Belichick.
Yeah. After all he's done for that franchise, dude, I just don't see it at all. I think the Chargers
They were fucking bad this year.
They were, but I mean, like, dude, on top of like not having a good quarterback, they also like lost all their defensive players, and their defense was still good. Surprisingly. You know what I mean? Like, dude, they lost Matt Judon, they lost Christian Gonzalez. I mean, they lost a lot of talented players on that defense, and they were still decent. The offense definitely needs fucking work.
Yeah, when they still a top 10 defense?
Yeah, all year they were top 10.
Yeah, they just need any type of pulse on offense, and they could compete with anybody.
Yep. I think they got to get rid of not Bill Belichick, Bill O'Brien.
Bill O'Brien is a dog shit OC.
Yeah, they got to get.
I don't care if any OC that they had during the Brady era is overrated as fuck and not good, because it's clear that Tom Brady carried that whole franchise.
Yep.
Until he left and went to Tampa Bay.
They ended up being the 15th overall defense.
I mean, that's not bad considering their injuries.
That's not bad losing, considering you lost your 3 top players.
Yeah. So I mean, I think, like, obviously they're not close to being relevant again or being good again, because their biggest concern is at quarterback, and I'm not sure, Drake May or Caleb Williams or whoever the fuck they draft is gonna like step right in and be good with that offense, because like the offense, they don't have any fucking weapons, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And Bill Belichick, for some fucking reason, dude, like the guy cannot draft wide receivers, dude. Like all the wide receivers he drafts, unless they're white, they all suck. All of them.
Well, one was a quarterback, so you can't even count him as a wide receiver.
Who?
Julian Edelman, remember they drafted him as a quarterback.
Did they really? I knew he was a quarterback in college, but that's crazy.
But when Weston name got hurt, he said it on the podcast when Aaron Hernandez got hurt, or something happened with Aaron Hernandez and somebody. Oh, Danny
fucking killed a guy.
No, remember he played that whole season before they found out he killed somebody. Aaron Hernandez got hurt and Danny Amendola got hurt. That's what made them switch Edelman to wide receiver, and he did his thing.
Yep, he was good. He was good. Never forget when they fucking put Troy Brown at fucking cornerback and they won a fucking Super Bowl. That was hilarious.
He did play both ways his whole career up until he got to the NFL, though.
Yeah, but I mean, that was crazy. That was like the end of his career, too, when they did that shit.
Patriots have 3rd overall pick. That could be the 3rd QB, though, if Bears and Commies pass on what they have.
I think they could trade up, too. Trade with the Commies, get up to number 2. Unless the Commies are like set on taking a fucking quarterback. I don't know if there's a quarterback worth taking at number 3.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking is,
unless you like fall in love with Jaden Daniels.
Yeah. Well, shit. I mean, do the Patriots
very high on Jaden Daniels, but we would have to definitely trade up to get him.
Would the Patriots be someone interested in Fields?
No.
I don't think. I mean, that's not their type of QB, but he's probably the best available QB for trade right now.
I think Fields goes to ATL. It just makes too much sense.
Yeah. Did he break his finger today too?
I mean,
is that what I heard?
You can also keep in mind Drew Lock too.
True.
He might be available.
That's a great.
Geno is guaranteed for 2 more years, so
is Drew Lock gonna be that much better than Mac Jones?
Yeah. Dude, Mac Jones.
He's gonna be better than Desmond. He's gonna be better than Desmond Ridder, Mac Jones, and Taylor Heineke combined.
Yeah. Yep. And Bailey Zappi. Zappi got his chance. But they got to get
Fuck that
weapons,
up.
man. Maybe they draft fucking
Yeah.
Marvin Harrison Jr., dude.
They should, or Malik Neighbors.
Take a quarterback later. All right. Bears at Packers. Packers close -2.5, -3. They went outright 17-9. Total goes under 46.5. This was everybody all day was like on the Bears. It was too obvious. I ended up taking the Packers. They get in the playoffs. First year with Jordan Love. It's supposed to be a transition year, and here they are in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's gonna be a transition right to the offseason because they're getting their ass whooped whoever they play in the playoffs.
Playing the Cowboys.
Oh yeah, that's. I think the Cowboys probably a touchdown favorite. They at home.
I don't know what the number is, but yeah, they're probably gonna
No,
beat
it's
them
numbers.
pretty handily. But I mean, the Packers aren't that far away, man. Jordan Love got better as the year went on, and really they just need a few defensive players and a new defensive coordinator, and that team is gonna be they could compete for that division.
Yeah,
You get
LaFleur
Watson
probably
back
saved
next year, too.
the second half of the season. Probably saved LaFleur's job, but
Yep.
I would honestly definitely look into a new DC because no matter what they do with Joe Barry, they cannot stop the run.
Yep. They cannot, and that's the good thing for them against the fucking Cowboys. The Cowboys don't run the ball, so that plays into their hand. But yeah,
But shoot, how terrible they are. The Cowboys might come out looking like the Rams with fucking Eric Dickerson next week.
What do the Bears do? They obviously have the first overall pick.
And 9th, right?
Is it the 9th? Yeah, I know they got two
Yeah, it's
top 10
ninth or the
picks.
10th.
Yeah, 1st and 9th.
What do the Bears do? Do they move on from Justin Fields?
They
think
could.
you have
They maybe can. I just don't see how you pass up on Caleb Williams though.
Yep.
With what they're building, add Caleb Williams, and then with that 9th or 10th pick, draft another wide receiver. Because the defense is pretty set. The defense, probably another corner, maybe another pass rusher, which is going to be pass rushers galore in his draft.
Yep.
It's just all the writing on the wall to me seems like they move on from Justin Fields and they draft Caleb Williams.
In my eyes, I think it depends what you can get for that first overall pick. Because you were going to have some teams, because there's a lot of teams who need QBs, you're going to have some teams fighting for that number 1 overall pick. And if you can get multiple first round picks for years to come, you might take that. If you can get, for that first overall 3 first round picks, so then over the next 3 years, you have 6 first round picks to restock your system, to revamp everything.
Yeah, but the problem is that you only have one more year of control of Justin Fields, and then you have to pay him.
Yeah.
And once you pay a quarterback,
but next year you have 2 first round picks.
I get that.
Yeah,
but once you
it might
pay a
not be number
quarterback, though,
one.
Ben, it's a lot harder to build your team around because that quarterback is making such a significant part of your salary. So that's why you want that quarterback to be legit. Now, can they draft players in the next couple of years? Sure. But you're only drafting, 2 guys in the first round, and there's no guarantee that they're going to be good.
Yeah, but again, if you're gonna trot out Justin Fields, you're gonna have another high pick next year, at least one, and then whatever that other team, what happens?
Yeah, but
So
what happens next
Carolina
year?
again?
So what happens next year? You keep Justin Fields. Last year of club control until you have to pay him. You keep Justin Fields and you suck again. Then what?
Then you get rid of Justin Fields and you
For
take
who? Because next year's QB draft sucks. That's why if you're gonna take a QB,
Still
you
gonna
do
be
it
better than
now.
Justin Fields.
Yeah, but you can draft Caleb Williams and have 5 years of
Yeah, but you
cheap
draft
quarterback.
Caleb Williams and have, I guess they have 2 first round picks, so 4 first round picks in the next year,
Yeah,
the next 3 years. Or
it's
do
like
you
Irv said,
not
their defense is already pretty legit. They just need they need to draft like Caleb and like a wide receiver and another tackle.
offensive linemen and
Yeah, but they don't
probably
need
a
they don't need
pass
three
rusher,
first round picks in
and
the next. They don't need 3 first round picks a year for the next 3 years for that, because that's not going to help them this year.
you can get quite a haul for that first overall pick.
Sure, but then you're putting yourself in the same position because I asked you what happens next year if they're still not good, they don't make the playoffs, and you're like, then we move on from Justin Fields. So then you're telling me you're going to move on from Justin Fields in a worse quarterback draft class, and you're not going to get a quarterback nearly as good as any of the guys you can get this year.
Yeah, but then you have twice as many.
Yeah, but the hardest position to find
offensive.
is a quarterback.
Yeah,
And it doesn't matter how talented your team is. If you don't have a quarterback, you're very limited. Very limited.
well then,
Yeah,
let's look at the Niners there.
the
You
Niners.
get the opportunities that to build your offense with a shit ton of first round picks. Justin Fields can be a good enough QB.
Well, no, because the difference between the Niners and other teams is the Niners have an elite defense, which they've built through the draft and stuff, and then they have Kyle Shanahan, who's an elite play design play caller. The Bears don't have that. They don't have Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah.
So, like, it just makes too much sense for them to get a quarterback this year in a good quarterback class. Then you have 5 years of a cheap quarterback to build your team around, and you can build it nice because you're only paying your quarterback fucking a fraction of the cost of a good quarterback. Whereas you keep Justin Fields this year, okay, you have one more year, and then you have to pay him, and then if you pay him, he's gonna get market value because he's a starting quarterback, regardless of how good or bad we think he is. And then you're overpaying him as a quarterback, and it handicaps what you can do with the rest of your roster unless you're drafting elite. But that's the thing, is you're not going to hit on every draft pick. No one does. It's very rare.
Okay. What about if you are with the Titans? You trade with the Titans and you get that 7th overall pick, and you take a QB there, and you still get 2 more first round picks.
I mean, but that's the thing. Like, they might trade the pick and still draft a quarterback. I'm just saying, like, not drafting a quarterback this year is, like, that's what gets GMs fired.
Well, yeah, absolutely. But you can still trade that first overall pick for, I don't think the Giants move on at 6 from Daniel Jones. I don't, obviously the Chargers aren't going to move on. Cardinals aren't going to move on. Patriots, do they move up from 3 to 1? I don't think there's that much value there.
But the other thing too you have to take into consideration is other teams might be trading up to get quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So, like, even if you trade back to 6, there's no guarantee that the quarterback you want is there at 6.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't reach for a quarterback just because you need a quarterback. You should draft the best available player. That's why they have the number 1 overall pick. It's simple. Just take Caleb Williams and move on. Trade Justin Fields, get like a 2nd or 3rd round pick for him, and then you move on. It's easier to build a team.
You might get multiple picks for him as well.
I don't know if you get multiple for Fields.
He's a quarterback.
Yeah, but
Find a desperate enough team, you could get a 2nd and a 4th, 2nd and a 5th.
There's this perception of Justin Fields, and then there's the reality of Justin Fields, and like
5th round picks come in handy. Look at the Rams.
True, but there's no guarantee. They might get like a 3rd and a 5th. But the thing with Justin Fields is, like, he has like 2 or 3 wow plays a game where you're like, oh man, this guy could definitely be a fucking quarterback. But then he makes so many bad decisions too that cost him his team games. And that's the problem, is like, we don't know what he is. And if you're a franchise, right, and you're asking yourself as a franchise, do we continue with Justin Fields or do we move on from Justin Fields? After 4 years, there's an issue. Now that's why you trade him, because a team like Atlanta, they need a quarterback. Period. And Justin Fields is better than anything they have. And they can't get a Caleb Williams or Drake May. So their options are very limited. So that's why you take advantage of those teams. Move off Fields, draft Caleb, move on. You have 5 years.
I still think you entertain the idea of training that pick. You don't have to do it, but you entertain it to see what you can get. Because if you can get 3 first-round picks for the number 3 pick, who knows what you're getting for that number 1 pick.
Bro, I just think it's career suicide because if they don't make the playoffs next year with Fields, and then let's just say in 3 years, Caleb, or even if Caleb Williams has a CJ Stroud type season next year, bro, fucking Pace is gone. He's getting his job. He's losing his job, bro.
What happens if he has a Bryce Young type year though?
That there's always that possibility for sure, but you still have 4 more years of him under control, whereas you only have 1 more year of Justin Fields.
Yeah.
What if Justin Fields sucks next year, or he has the same year? Bears don't make the playoffs. Caleb isn't that good next year, and you trade Caleb, right? You trade the first overall pick, but then Caleb in 2 or 3 years is a Pro Bowler, and you're still in QB purgatory because you moved on. Because you kept Justin Fields. Like, that's the thing is, like, I'd rather take the shot, take the chance, than trade that pick. And especially for the Bears, Ben, because the Bears are a franchise. Like, dude, their franchise's best quarterback is Jay Cutler. That tells you how fucking dog shit that franchise is with quarterbacks. Yeah. So if they pass up on Caleb Williams, or even Drake May for that example, if they pass up on either one of those guys, and either one of those guys becomes a fucking Pro Bowl caliber player, bro, that franchise is going to be in piss for fucking decades, dude.
Yeah.
Again.
Well, and is that franchise, I mean, I guess you really have to, because you've got the Lions who are, coming out as the top team in the NFC North. You've got the Packers who are going to get better next year. The Vikings, who knows? But it's going to be the Vikings and the Bears fighting for that.
I wouldn't even look at the Lions either, because the Lions are a similar team to the Niners, where like they have a good roster and they have an average quarterback, right? At some point, for them to take the next step, like they're going to need a better quarterback. Jared Goff's not going to take them to the Super Bowl. We already seen Jared Goff go to a Super Bowl, and what happened? He fucking didn't even put up more than 3 points. So, if I'm in the NFC North, I'm looking at the Packers and saying, like, that's a team in the future we're going to have to beat, because they have a young quarterback who's only getting better. They have their offense is extremely young. They have a very young offense, and then their defense is only a few pieces away. So if I'm the Bears, I'm like, dude, I can compete in this division in a year or two for sure. Or the Vikings, for that matter. Like, I can compete in this division. I wouldn't even worry about the Lions, because like you said, the Lions are going to come down to an issue where they're going to need a quarterback. Because watch this year, Ben, watch. They're going to get to like the NFC Championship, or they're going to get bounced in the second round. And then the same thing's going to happen next year. They're going to get in the playoffs, and they're going to get bounced early. And then these questions are going to arise. Is Jared Goff the guy? Can Jared Goff get us to the next level?
Absolutely. I don't disagree with you at all there. But I think they're going to be a perennial, contender for that top seed, in the NFC North every single year for the next at least 3 years.
They probably will, because they have a
do need
talented roster.
Another QB, but you've got great offensive firepower there. You've got Amon-Ra St. Brown. You've got Jahmyr Gibbs, who had a fucking hell of a season this year.
Ben,
building up there.
Let me ask you this.
You've got Hawkinson. You've got
Ben. Let me ask you this.
Or not Hawkinson. Hutchinson.
Laporta. Oh, look, Hutchinson on defense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this though. You're a Niners fan. Why did the Niners move on from Jimmy G?
Because he couldn't win you the game, win you the playoff game.
That's why they traded all those picks for Justin Fields, right? I mean, I'm sorry, Trey Lance.
Trey Lance, yeah.
And I ended up Trey Lance wasn't the guy, and Brock Purdy still might not be the guy.
I agreed.
What if the Niners? What if they get in the NFC Championship and Brock Purdy shits the bed, or they get to the Super Bowl and the same thing happens? Because Jimmy G got to the NFC Championship, he got to the Super Bowl, he just couldn't get the team over the hump.
Yeah.
So it's like these NFL teams. That's why I'm saying, like, you have to have a quarterback, dude. Like, that's why Josh Allen, for all the turnovers he makes, he also makes plays that nobody else can make. which makes him so much more valuable than other players, right? Like asking your franchise to go find a Patrick Mahomes, to go find a Josh Allen, like that's very rare. That's why Caleb Williams is so important. I think Irv agrees with this because he can make those plays, and if you can wind him down to be more, and Mahomes had to learn this. Because Mahomes always wanted the big play, always wanted the long shot. If you can wind Caleb Williams down to not always take those big shots, bro, you have a Hall of Fame quarterback. And you have to have a quarterback in this league.
Yeah. If they get Caleb Williams, though, they have to surround him with firepower, because 100%. I don't think Khalil Herbert is that. I think you have DJ Moore. I think Mooney is questionable there. I don't think Kmet isn't good enough tight end.
I like Kmet, but they absolutely, you're right, dude. They absolutely need more. And the biggest thing is they got to get an offensive coordinator
and an offensive line. They got to build that up too.
Yeah,
they got a lot of holes.
But they have the 9th pick too. They have the 9th pick.
Yeah,
and they have
that plugs one of those holes.
And they have I think they have 2 second-rounders. And they still have free agency, and they have a ton of money to spend in free agency too. But the hardest thing to get in free agency is a fucking left tackle and a quarterback.
Yep.
It's the 2 hardest things to get.
And they have Braxton Jones, who's not terrible left tackle.
Yeah, and they drafted a old boy from Tennessee. What was his name? Darnell Wright. He's pretty nice on the line.
He's on the right tackle, yeah.
So I mean, they're not that far away, but it's like you just can't pass up on Caleb Williams, dude. I just think it would be a career suicide for Pace. And it may not be. Like, Caleb Williams could fucking not be good. But you got to take that chance, I think. Or Drake May, if you like Drake May. All right, Rams at Niners. Rams finally get the fucking monkey off their back. They finally beat the Niners 21-20. Carson Wentz did his thing. Sam Darnold, horrible fumble at the end of the game. And if I'm the Niners, bro, I pray that Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk don't get hurt, because those dudes cannot fucking catch, bro. All those backup wide receivers cannot catch.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah.
That was some nasty stuff. That dude, Ray McLeod, dropped a wide open fucking 30-yard bomb, would have walked into the end zone, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking dropped it, dude.
You also had Gray, who was out. You also had who's the other wide receiver?
Jawan Jennings.
Thank you. That didn't play today. So, yes, I completely agree with you, Jordan. It's
also crazy how valuable
too.
It's also crazy how valuable Trent Williams is. Like,
yeah,
brother. Fucking the second half, like Sam Darnold was just getting fucking run over, dude.
Yep.
Had like 2 seconds to throw.
I feel a hell of a lot more comfortable this year with Sam Darnold as our backup. And something that they brought up on the broadcast was what happens next year. Darnold is going to get, an offer.
I don't know.
Somewhere else, at least to because somebody's going to be able to offer more than the Niners have.
Yeah, but he's probably a backup for the rest of his life.
Because you got to pay Purdy next year.
Yeah,
next year or year after?
It could be next year or the year after.
Yeah, it's better to get it done sooner.
Because you have a little bit more leeway with the cap.
Yeah,
you can backload the deal, front load it, however you want to do the contract language.
Yep.
I think there's also some players that might restructure to continue having the offensive firepower.
Yeah, the only problem with that continuous renegotiating or fucking doing your contract is you get into situations where you got the Saints and the Rams. The Rams last year were fucking trash because they had no money and they had no draft picks. But they obviously turned it around this year because they have a quarterback. Yeah. Makes it a lot easier.
Well, and they got a hell of a fucking pick in Nakua.
Yeah, that was and Kyron Williams, dude.
Yeah.
They nailed. Who's their GM?
Les Snead.
Yeah, Les Snead. Jesus Christ. He had a great draft last year.
Yeah.
Now they just need to
Nakua
draft
was
an
what, 4th round?
offensive line. Now wasn't Nakua like 6th round,
No, they was both 5th-round picks.
5th round?
Okay.
That's crazy, bro.
Man, what a fucking year that kid has.
Yeah, it's crazy. Kyron
And
Williams too.
Holy shit, he made hell of money today. Didn't he make like an extra 500K in incentives for getting
he?
those 2 records?
That's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge, especially for a rookie.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next game. This is the team we need to talk about. The Eagles at the Giants. Eagles close 4.5-point favorites. They lose outright, 27-10. I mean, bro, what is going on with the Eagles?
Not looking good.
I think the big thing is their injuries too. Like how long is Brown going to be out? What happens with Jalen Hurts' finger? I mean, he didn't look great after. I mean, he didn't look great all day, but he didn't look great after dislocating his finger, which was close to being broken.
That shit looked broken on the broadcast when they showed his fingers. It was like,
Yeah,
that looked hella bad, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, damn.
and why come back in and play more? That's one of the things that I don't get is why are you jeopardizing and pushing to go back in and play when you've already lost it? And
Isn't Devontae Smith hurt too?
Devontae Smith is hurt. Yeah.
He didn't play today. So now you don't have Devontae or AJ Brown, likely.
Yep. Well, I guess did Mariota come in or did he? I guess Mariota did come in, but Jalen Hurts was out there the next drive.
Yeah, Mariota finished the game.
Yeah.
He played the entire second half. Yeah, man, dude. And Philly's another example, dude. Once you start paying your quarterback, they had to let guys go. Like dude that went to the Niners. What's his name?
Hargrave.
Like
Yep.
they had to
They got lucky with picking up Carter. Yeah.
Yep. But they also had to let dude go to the Lions, who ended up tearing his ACL anyway, so it doesn't matter. But
No, he came back today.
was today's first game back?
Gardner Johnson played today.
Oh shit, dude! Thought he was done for the year. But
Nah, he didn't. I don't think he tore his ACL.
he missed a chunk of time.
Yeah, he missed like 12 games. I know.
Damn, that's crazy. No, wasn't it a back or a neck issue?
Let me see.
I don't remember. I just know he was out for a while.
He was out
But
for a
again,
while.
like that's what happens once you start paying a quarterback, dude. You lose players. You know what I mean? And it sucks because like what's the Eagles' biggest weakness this year?
Secondary.
Secondary, and they can't run the ball as well as they did last year.
Mm-hmm.
And they have the same offensive line, although Lane Johnson's a little bit older. But they don't have what's his name, the running back
Miles
they had
Sanders.
last year. Yeah, Miles Sanders. So, I mean, it just goes to show, man. Like, got draft well.
Yeah, and if you don't have Mariota in there today, I mean Mariota 6 for 46 yards, but I mean Gainwell 7 for 62. Boston
Yeah, he's
Scott
been
3
out
for
since-
5. Rashad Penny 6 for 16. Like you're only putting up 80 some rushing yards on the Giants.
Well, I mean, they couldn't really run because they were down so much they had to throw it. What was he out with, Irv?
Gardner Johnson been out since September 17th.
Yeah. Does it say the injury?
That's week 2. Yeah,
Does it say what the injury was?
it was.
I don't even know what it was.
Yeah, damn, it don't say what it was.
I thought he was out for the year though.
He was out for a long time.
Says taking off IR. He tore his pectoral.
Yeah, pick. Damn.
That's crazy. That's usually a year season-ending injury, dude.
Yes, it is.
That's crazy, but yeah, I don't know. Like, what do the Eagles do from here, man? Because it's only gonna get worse.
Well, they got pretty good draft capital, don't they?
Not as good as it was because they traded Carson Wentz, which became a first-round pick, and like all those picks are gone now. Now they just have their pick,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is like in the 20s.
Well, they'll still be able to get some talent. I know they got to get a offensive lineman because Lane Johnson is probably retiring. Kelsey's probably retiring.
Yeah, but they drafted what's his face to replace Kelsey. They have him at guard, right? Landon Dickerson.
Okay, so yeah, him.
But then you got to draft a guard.
Yeah, you got to draft to go. And then maybe a tackle too because Lane Johnson might retire.
Yeah, he's definitely retiring. I think he already said he's going to retire after the end of the year.
Okay.
And then you might have to find a quarterback, man.
Who are you talking about?
The Eagles.
No.
Nah, I'm not gonna go that far with Jalen Hurts yet.
How much can you get in trade value for Jalen Hurts?
Not that much because of his contract, but I mean, last year's looking like an anomaly, bro. It really is because if you look at all his other years,
That's like said this year's Mahomes is falling off. He didn't have a great year, but it's nowhere near. I'm finna entertain.
yeah. But
trading
the difference is that Mahomes has had other good years. Jalen Hurts has only had one good year.
Yeah, but he only been starting for 3 years though.
Both of these last 2 years, they've had easy schedules.
And the first year was his rookie year. Well, basically, he was a
No,
rookie.
he's been starting. He started for 3 years. This is his third year.
That's what I said. He only been starting for 3 years. So,
And then he started 4 games his rookie year.
so
But I mean,
yeah,
his 2021, 16 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. This year, 23 touchdowns, 14 interceptions.
yeah, cut down the interceptions. He'd be good.
I think last year was an outlier, man. It's starting to look like
Say
it.
last year outlier when you got Josh Allen leading the league in turnovers 2 years in a row.
Yeah, but the difference is Josh Allen can make plays that Jalen Hurts cannot.
But Jalen Hurts led his team to a Super Bowl
Yeah,
They still
he
won
had-
games.
and was a field goal away from winning it. So Josh Allen ain't took his team to a Super Bowl.
he has not. But I would definitely take Josh Allen over Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, to each his own, but I'm just saying you can't say they might need a quarterback. Now, if he be terrible next year, then okay.
That's
but
only 1 year difference. They might need a quarterback.
yeah, I don't
Well,
think.
then, but I mean, if
don't
he's
think
bad,
the quarter-
if he's
the
bad again
quarterback
next
is
year,
I think the QB position is the least of the Eagles' worries right now.
I'm just saying, like, last year is looking like an outlier if you look at his career stats. Like, last year was his best year, and all his other years are very similar, including
He
this
had
year.
4 starts in 1 year, and then the year
Okay,
after
but
that,
the other
he had
2
no
years,
points.
so he has 2 bad years. So we'll take out the rookie year. He has 2 bad years, 1 good year.
I wouldn't consider this year bad.
I would consider it good.
You know, it's not bad. 14 interceptions, okay, but his team is still in the playoffs. They could have easily won a division.
You got to
They-
look at.
they
Who they're
also
gonna
could
be
have very
playing next
easily-
year at that number 2.
The
Sorry.
record.
Go ahead, Jordan.
I mean, but same thing with them playing the first place record this year.
Yeah, but I mean, next year they're going to have, the teams that are in number 2, the Rams, Saints, the Packers. I'd say the Saints are probably going to be better next year. I think the Rams are going to be better next year. Then you've got, Dallas, who's a firepower in their division. You've got the Giants, who are going to be better with Daniel Jones this next year. Not
Are
much
they?
better, but it's definitely better than Tyrod Taylor and fucking
I
Danny
don't know,
DeVito.
man. Tyrod Taylor might be better than Danny Dimes.
I don't know about that.
Daniel Jones.
Tyrod
sucks.
Taylor is more mobile, but Danny Dimes definitely has a better arm. Washington's going to be better next year. And you've got maybe Vegas and Denver is going to be. I guess Vegas took that number 2 spot. Jacksonville's going to be better next year. Cleveland's going to be better next year. Miami's going to be better next year. And those are all the number 2 teams in the divisions. they're gonna have a tough schedule next year, and you're gonna get those top teams because the the
Depends
for
on
those
what
remaining
the
like 3 games.
well, depends on what the other division they play. We'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see what happens with them. All right, let's move on to the next game. We had Seattle at Arizona, closed 2.5, depending on where you got it. Total was 47.5. Total goes under. Seattle wins because Matt Prater missed 2 field goals and one at the end to win it. But Arizona covers. I'm telling you, bro, they called down and said, bro, you got to miss this kick.
Both of them.
You got to miss this,
And
bro.
it was a smart move.
But
Because if they win that game, then they're moving to what, the number 8 pick?
7 or 8. But I will say this, man. Jonathan Gannon, that dude's a genius, bro. 2 weeks in a row, he let the opposing team score quickly to ensure that his team had the ball last. But they miss a kick, so it doesn't even matter.
Why?
What do the Seahawks do?
Why is it division or conference play that's the tiebreaker?
I think it's like similar opponents or whatever.
I just don't understand why in the rankings, Arizona is ranked 3rd worst.
Based on what?
I don't know.
It could be based on win percentage. It could be based on
So Arizona and
differential.
Washington are both 4-13, which is a .235 win percentage. So it's got to be.
Yeah, but Washington had a way
10-0.
worse point differential.
Yeah, but what's the next? It's got to be what, conference, division, and then conference record?
I have no idea.
Because division record, both Arizona and the Commanders were 0-6, but Arizona was 3-9 versus Washington 2-10.
In the
which
conference
must have been why they got the 3rd pick instead of the 4th.
Yeah, it could have been. Or it could have been because they had similar opponents and the Cardinals beat the Cowboys and the Commanders lost to them twice. I don't know how they do the draft picks. All I know is the Cardinals have the 4th pick.
Yeah.
That's where they're at right now. What does Seattle do, though? Obviously, they got Geno Smith for another year, but it's like that team had so much draft capital, and like last year looked hella promising. And I know a lot of people were picking them to even compete for the NFC West this year, and like that team just like the defense still sucks. And like unless they run the ball, like that team isn't that good, and they have like all these weapons for nothing.
Yeah. I mean, I think they have to bolster up their defense because they've got great young talent. They've got Charbonnet, they've got Jackson Smith and Jigba, they've got Kenneth Walker. You build up that offensive line, so you have a little bit more time for Geno Smith to make his decisions. You've got Ty Lockett, you've got DK. We're both getting older. And do you trade one of them to bolster up your team?
I think you trade DK.
Yeah.
To the Chiefs.
And then you push. Yeah, that would be good. You push that defense. You got to get that defense better to.
But I feel like they've been drafting defense since fucking the Legion of Boom all left. And like they still aren't a good defense. Like they did get a little bit better defensively once they traded for Leonard Williams, but like they still don't have a good pass rush. And their cornerbacks, like they got some decent cornerbacks, but like last year that one dude, who was the rookie last year at cornerback that they had? What was his name?
Is it Quandre Diggs?
Nah. It was, oh my god, dude, what the fuck is his name?
DJ Dallas.
It was. Oh, I forget his fucking name. Oh, Tyreek Woolen. Tyreek Woolen. He like led the league in interceptions last year. So they had Tyreek Woolen, and then you add Devin Witherspoon. It's like, dude, your secondary still fucking gets torched all the fucking time. Like, dude, like I don't get it. Like they keep drafting defense, and like they continue to like just get worse. So
Let's see how it works out.
I don't know what the fuck they're gonna do. But at the end of the day, it's like, dude, Geno Smith is only gonna take them so far.
Well, and they're in a hard division too. That's the tough part.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah. I mean, if
Cardinals are gonna get better, Rams are gonna get better. Niners are still gonna be good.
If you look at that division, like the Seahawks definitely have the worst quarterback for sure.
Yeah.
So it's like, how good can you really be when you have the worst quarterback in your division?
Probably the worst defense in that division too.
I mean, I would say statistically Arizona was this year, but Arizona got better as the year went on defensively.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next game. We had Dallas at Washington. Dallas closed 11.5-point favorites. They cover, win 38-10. This was the goodbye party for Ron Rivera. He's definitely going to get fired tomorrow. Would not be shocked. They're going to redo that entire front office as they have new ownership. Dallas finally won on the road, but of course they do it against a bad team. Bad season for the Commies. Dallas finishes with the second seed. What do you guys take away from either of these two teams?
Nothing much. Cowboys keep building. They just got to win a championship, and the Commies got to fire Ron Rivera. Period. Point blank.
Yep.
Cowboys aren't gonna win the championship either, though.
Nah, if they had home field advantage, I'd feel.
No,
I
I didn't say they're going to win a championship. I said they have to win one.
Yeah.
What they're measured as. And if Dak don't turn the ball over, they could beat anybody. It's just, can we trust him to not turn the ball over in big games?
Well, and I think your defense, which was, top defense last year or the year before, like they have to step it up. They've definitely regressed this year with
that could
injuries
be
and
with
injuries and Micah Parsons has fallen off a cliff.
He just falls off in big games. Like he just disappears. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't get it. They also don't run the ball as well as they once did.
Yeah.
They used to run the ball really well. Now they're like 20th or 22nd. They're somewhere around there in running on offense, and like
that's because Mike McCarthy's the play caller now.
Well, I also think it's personnel too, because what's that dude? Their running back,
Pollard.
Yeah, he's hella small. Like he's not carrying the ball 25 times a game.
He just had a hell of a season last year, which
most running backs don't. Maybe they could pick up Derrick Henry in the offseason. You have a two-headed monster.
But is Derrick Henry at his age just basically bringing back Zeke?
Nah.
Kind of sounded like after the game today, Derrick Henry was like saying his farewells, like he was gonna retire. I don't know.
Nah, he was saying farewell to Tennessee. I don't think he's gonna retire.
Yeah, if you can pick up another contract, you do.
He's only 30. I don't think he's got plenty. Everybody thought CMC was washed when he was in with the Panthers. So look at him now.
And Derrick Henry had a fucking game today too.
CMC just couldn't stay healthy.
Nah, bro, you said he was washed. Shut your ass up.
Yeah, because he was always hurt. Bro played like 3 games his last year. Nah, it definitely means you're washed, dude. Because once you get a certain age, it's harder to recover from injuries.
CMC's young.
Yeah, but dude, he was like hurt his like last 2 years at Carolina. He played like fucking like 4 or 5 games total. I drafted him in fantasy one year, dude. He played like 1 game.
Should have drafted him this year.
Yeah, should have. All right, Jacksonville at Tennessee. Jacksonville had to win. They win the division. They're in the playoffs. They lose outright to Tennessee. Tennessee wins 28-20. Total goes over. What's the answer in Jacksonville? Like, what do they have to do in this offseason?
Be more consistent. That's their problem. They're just not consistent. They got everything they need, but maybe add another corner. They got the pass rush. They solid at the linebacker position. Maybe another corner. I don't know. It's not a talent problem. It's just they have problems executing. If if Trevor Lawrence hits Calvin Ridley on that goal on that a crossing route, whatever it was, post cross, whatever it was, that was a walk-in touchdown. Then you just need a 2-point conversion to tie. 6 inches on you get stopped on a 4th and goal. You just got to be able to convert those type of plays.
Yep. I think they need like like a legit number one wide receiver.
I think Calvin Ridley can be their number one wide receiver, but I think you need someone to match up with that Zay Jones type, number two, and give them the options. Maybe it's someone to up Evan Ingram's, level at tight end, where you're giving them that other option.
Evan Ingram had a hella good year.
He had a decent year. But he's just getting older and older. And I still don't think I put him as an upper echelon tight end in this league. He's definitely getting older.
Yeah, but I mean, like he's
only 29, so
he had a good year though. Like if I'm looking at that team, like I'm not saying like my takeaway isn't like, oh, they need a tight end. Like my takeaway is they need a legit number one wide receiver. Like, I don't think Calvin Ridley's a legit number one. I think he's a perfect number two. He's like a Goodwin to Evans. Like they need a Mike Evans. They need a guy that can go get balls.
You don't think Zay Jones is that guy?
No. I think Zay Jones is nice, but I don't think he's a number one wide receiver. They need like a legit numero uno. They need a Marvin Harrison Jr.
The reason why I put Calvin Ridley as their number one is because of speed.
He has speed,
and
but
that's
like
why I say he's the legit number one.
He disappears too much because teams just bracket cover. I mean, like he's not going up and getting balls in coverage and shit like a big body wide receiver is. You know what I mean? Like they need I think Ridley's like a great number two. I think he's a perfect number two, like Brandon Cooks.
I think they need to get another person on their offensive line to give Trevor Lawrence a little bit more security. And then I think you're right. I think you get a wide receiver in that offense, maybe pick up a new tight end, but Evan Ingram will probably open up if you get that number one, that number two, like you're talking about.
If they
to give him,
if they could land to Brock Bowers, that would be fucking ideal. But that ain't happening. But I think they could. I think they could definitely add another corner, like Irv said too. Like it's not just a wide receiver. I'm just talking from the offensive standpoint. Like they have two good running backs. They have a decent offensive line. Maybe they could use another lineman, but Ridley just disappears in too many games, dude.
Yeah, I think having Tank Bigsby all year too is going to be nice because he got hurt week 3, maybe week 4.
Yeah. All right, let's move over to Atlanta and New Orleans. This game was for the playoffs, or it was to try to win the division. Neither one of them did. Atlanta loses 48-17. Just an absolute. I mean, New Orleans just blew them out in the second half, dude. This shit wasn't even close. But yeah, man. Obviously, Irv said it before, right when we started the show. Arthur Smith has been fired from the Falcons, so they'll be looking for a new head coach. But they got to figure out that quarterback position, man.
Yeah.
Have to. And as far as the Saints go, Derek Carr's not the answer, but that team's just getting older. But that defense should have been a lot better than they were. I know they had some injuries, but dude, that team was like hands down the favorite to win this division. They fucking lost it to the fucking Bucks and Baker Mayfield.
Yeah,
like the Saints got a long way to go. That team's not good either.
Okay, so we hear at the end of the game with that final second touchdown that the players went against their coach and the call to score that last second touchdown. Who was it? Keandre Miller?
Jamal Williams.
Jamal. Okay.
They did it to
you-
get him a bonus, and yeah, I just go to show Dennis Allen don't have control of that locker room.
That's what I was gonna ask. Does that make a big?
Well,
Does that make a mark?
the Eagles said the same thing about the fucking play call in Seattle. AJ Brown said it was him and Jalen Hurts that changed the play.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're saying that he doesn't have control, then that means fucking Sirianni don't have control. But I mean, it is what it is. Like, I think Dennis Allen, he probably had something to do with it, but the players are just taking heat off his back or something. I don't know. That team sucks though. Both those teams suck.
Both those teams suck. Yeah.
But that was funny, the audio fucking of Arthur Smith getting all mad.
Yeah.
That's bullshit. Now,
Yep.
now Buddy's fired. At least he's got a rich ass dad. He can go work for FedEx.
He's made enough money too.
Oh yeah, he'll
Oh
be.
damn it! Oh yeah, you did tell me that his dad owns FedEx.
Oh, he started FedEx.
Oh, started it. Okay,
It's publicly owned now, but he's probably still the largest shareholder for sure.
definitely.
He'll be an offensive coordinator though. I mean, the guy's a good offensive mind. It's just like, what are you gonna do when Desmond Ritter is your fucking quarterback and Taylor Heineke's your quarterback? Like they could have signed Lamar Jackson, dude, and they said, "Nah, we got Desmond Ritter, we're good." Like, dude,
Mm.
that's why that GM got to get fired, bro. That's a fireable offense right there. If that's not a fireable offense, I don't know what is.
Oh yeah, they could have traded for Lamar for sure.
No, they could have signed him. He was a free agent, remember?
No, I thought. Oh no, he was he restricted free agent, or I thought they tagged him.
It was like some kind of tag. Like, yeah, they would have had to trade for him if they signed him, but it's not like they would have had to trade like a first round pick.
Oh yeah, I think it was a transitional tag.
Yeah, it was a
right?
transition tag.
Okay.
Fireable offense, dude. All right, Jets at Patriots. Patriots closed 2.5-point favorites. They lose outright 17-3. This was a crazy,
barn burner.
but yeah, total barn burner in the snow. The Jets have obviously said they're going to hang on to Robert Saleh. They'll obviously get Aaron Rodgers back next year. And then New England, we don't know what's going to happen with them. Any thoughts on? I know we talked about New England earlier, but any thoughts on the Jets and their future?
Got to build that O line.
Have to, dude.
They got
Yeah.
everything else.
They have to draft the O line.
And probably add another one or two pieces to that defense to make it put it back to that kind of elite status.
What, a
Or do you
safety?
just all focus on
I think they could use like another edge rusher or a
But then-
linebacker.
you need like another cornerback too.
Yeah, they could use another corner opposite of Sauce.
Yeah.
But really, like Irv said, the offensive line and the quarterback
Yeah.
is like their biggest problem. Like, you got to keep Rodgers upright, and the only way to do that is by improving your offensive line. Because even if Rodgers stayed healthy, like, you know, how healthy would he have been all year behind that offensive line?
Yeah.
He got hit a lot.
How many days do you think his off-season ayahuasca trip is going to be?
Oh, this year, who knows?
Might have to look out for Jimmy Kimmel though.
You should invite me though. Fucking Pat McAfee, man. All right. Next game we had Lions.
Hey,
They-
don't talk about Pat. ESPN needed Pat McAfee.
Dude, ESPN might fucking boot Pat McAfee.
I don't know.
He went in here.
They might.
Didn't he get in a Twitter argument with the head director or something like that?
Nah, he said that the VP of ESPN was like trying to sabotage his show.
Yeah.
which I don't think is the case. I mean, it was a bad partnership to begin with, dude. Like ESPN's owned by Disney. The thing that makes Pat's show is that it was like unfiltered.
Mhm.
You know, it's like so like this was to be expected. I don't
Yeah.
know why anybody's surprised by this. You know, he took the money, man. He bent down and took the money, so he's got to play by the rules, man.
Yeah, it's true.
All right, Vikings at Lions. Lions closed, I think 2.5, 4.5 point favorites. I think it was. And then Lions blew them out 30-20. Sam Laporta got hurt though, in a game that like technically the Lions didn't have to win. Didn't really mean anything other than the second and third seed.
Close 3.5.
It close.
I think they wanted that record too. This team tied for the most wins in Lions history.
It's a good point too, but I mean, like now you lost Sam Laporta, probably it's a huge blow, and the Vikings fucking suck, dude. If you couldn't beat the Vikings without some of your starters, dude, you got issues. You got bigger issues, man.
Yeah, but again, we talk about those teams that are out of it come in to beat the teams that are in it.
Yeah, but I mean, like even if the Lions lose, like you don't lose, you're still in the playoffs.
Plus, those teams are playing for major incentives too. So
Yeah.
But what's the Lions home versus away record?
Oh, they're a much better home team, but still, like second and third seed, either way, you still have to go on the road in the championship game if you make it that far, unless the Niners somehow lose to in the second round to I think they would play the who do they play? They play the Eagles Bucks winner.
No, isn't the NFL get reseeded?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I could be wrong.
it's reseeded. So whoever the lowest seed is coming out of the NFC. So it could be the Rams if they beat the Lions. It could be the Eagles if they beat the Bucks and the Lions win. Could be the.
Are we sure reseeds?
Yeah.
Positive?
Positive.
Then why do they have a bracket?
But if you look at the bracket, the Lions don't go to the next.
I suppose. Interesting.
I'm 95% sure that it's like it resets.
I mean, I like reseeding playoff brackets anyways better than I do like true brackets, but that's crazy.
Yeah, because look at how they're set. Who's the number team in the AFC? Oh, it is the Bills, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, it doesn't have the lines to it, so that's why we don't see as these two teams would play this team versus, we already know it's the San Francisco Baltimore final anyways.
Either way, the only way the Lions have home field advantage is if the Niners lose. So they still have to go on the road.
Yeah.
Regardless. All right. Bengals, Browns. This was like a team of backups and stuff playing. Not a ton here. Obviously, Bengals lost Joe Burrow for the year. That's a huge blow. Tampa at Carolina. Carolina's the most interesting team going into the offseason because, like, they have a head coach opening. I'm not sure anybody wants that job. Like, that's a lame. Like, if you get hired for that job, like, you're losing your job in 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
Didn't the owner get fined $300,000 or something for throwing drinks on other fans?
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's part of the reason why I wouldn't want that job, too, because the owner's, like, fucking batshit crazy. Like, he overrode the football people and taking CJ Stroud. He's, like, the kind of guy that, like, just wants yes men around him, it sounds like from all reports. So Like I seriously like I don't understand why anybody that has like a future in the NFL and wants to be like a legit head coach, I don't understand why they would take that job at all.
He's probably gonna throw millions upon millions of dollars at you.
Yeah, but then you're just gonna fire them in 3 years anyways when they suck because you have no draft capital. Fucking Bryce Young looks terrible, dude. And I know that he doesn't have like a lot around him and stuff, but I mean, dude, he looked really, really bad. He looked lost.
Well, and I think big thing too, like how does Miles Sanders go from the number 1 in Philly to the number 2 behind Chuba Hubbard?
There's just that whole franchise is just fucking dog shit.
Yeah. You have a good wide
Dog
receiver
shit.
in DJ Chark.
I mean, dude, they need
Adam
so
Thielen's
much,
over
Ben.
the
They need a whole new offensive line. They need wide
Yeah.
receivers. They need defensive help. Like that team is just in shambles, bro. And I like that's what I'm saying. Like you take that job and like you don't have any assets to like really build it up. So like you're really working with what you have. You know, maybe a couple upgrades here and there, like minor upgrades. But in 2 to 3 years, when your team's still underperforming, like, dude, you're going to lose your job. And then you might not get another head coaching job ever again.
Yep.
There's no guarantee.
They just gave away this year's first round pick, right? To
Yeah, and this year's
Yeah, to
second, I
Chicago.
believe.
Yeah.
I believe it's this year's first and second.
yeah. They don't have
And
a
that would have
first
been the
or
first
second round
overall.
pick.
No, and they would, yeah, like Ben said, they would have the first overall pick too.
Imagine if they were able to get, the first overall pick this year. They had a
Maserati
They had
Marv.
what? 3rd overall last year.
No,
that they
last year
traded
they
up?
had like the 4th or 5th or 6th.
Okay, 4th or 5th. Like, imagine what this team looks like next year if they go get Caleb instead of Bryce and are able to take a offensive lineman or a
Well, how much
wide
different
rec-
is it too if they drafted CJ Stroud, which is the guy that everybody wanted?
yeah. Yeah, but I don't think with the team that they have, I don't think CJ Stroud is probably much better.
I think he's definitely better.
But is he a lot better?
I think so. I mean, look at how he performed yesterday without 2 of his top targets. No Noah Brown, no fucking Tank Dell.
Yeah, I still put Nico
Noah
Collins
Brown
over
wasn't
DJ
Noah,
Chark.
Nico was the number 2 guy.
Yeah, but he loved Noah Brown, dude. Noah Brown had
He
like
did.
that 170-yard game.
Yeah.
I think Noah Brown had more targets than anybody else when he was completely healthy.
Yeah, but it's still probably put Nico Collins over DJ Chark,
Oh yeah, for sure.
and Adam Thielen and Tommy Tremble and like any of the Carolina wide receivers.
Yeah, no, that Panthers team definitely lacks talent. But that's
Yeah.
the thing is they're not gonna be able to upgrade it.
Yeah.
Well, at least not this year. Well, if they don't have a first and a second round pick, then they would have to definitely do some hell of a scouting.
Yep.
Let's see what Carolina picks are.
They gotta dig deep in the draft.
This is a 2024 draft, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Panthers. They have their own second rounder, number 33 overall.
Okay.
So they have a 2nd, 3rd, 4th. They have San Francisco's 5th, Tennessee's 5th, and Arizona's 6th. That's it.
Well, they definitely drafting a wide receiver with that second overall pick.
Second overall pick and what?
Second
Second round.
There's either wide receiver or O-line. So
Yeah, the 33, the 65. Then they have their own 4th. San Francisco's 5th, which they got for CMC. Or no, that was probably Sam's.
They got like a 3rd rounder for CMC.
Yeah, last year.
Yeah.
But they have San Francisco's 5th, which was probably Sam Darnold.
Maybe. No, they signed
he a
Sam
free agent?
Darnold. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe a 3rd and a 5th. I don't know where else they would have gotten San Francisco's 5th from. But man, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 5th, 6th. That's not a good draft.
Nope. But like Irv said, you just gotta draft. You gotta scout hella well. Gotta scout hella well. All right. Any early looks for the playoffs next week? So we have what do we got? How do we start out here? What's the first game next week on Saturday?
Do we have any lines out?
Yeah, we have let me see. I know FanDuel has lines up. I think they're the only ones. I know the Rams opened on FanDuel and DraftKings plus 4.5 against the Lions. Because everyone and their mom on Twitter is like, I'm taking the Rams, dude. Fucking Stafford back in Detroit.
You know, the crazy thing is everybody gonna bet the over, and that game probably gonna go way under.
Yeah, just like everyone's gonna bet the Rams too, and the fucking Lions are probably gonna smoke them.
Yeah, I'm kind of, without looking deep into it, I'm on the Lions.
That's how it always goes. They're
Okay, here we go.
taking that
Opening
narrative
lines.
that Stafford's back in Detroit and wants
Cleveland.
revenge.
Okay, opening lines. Cleveland minus 2.5 over the Texans.
Sounds right.
Kansas City minus 3.5 over the Dolphins.
That's an interesting line because they were 3.5-point favorites on a neutral field against the Dolphins, and now you're at home and it's going to be 10-degree weather.
Yikes. Buffalo minus 9.5 against the Steelers.
Too many points, but there's no TJ Watt. But the Bills do not cover big numbers, dude.
Steelers suck, dude.
Bro, the Bills couldn't even cover a big number at home against the fucking Patriots.
I'll take that 9.5. Cowboys minus 7.5 against the Packers.
Yeah, sounds right.
And then Detroit minus 3 against the Rams.
That's already down to 3. Yeah, I'll take
Eagles
Detroit.
minus 2.5 against the Bucks.
Yeah, I'm trying to hit one dead center, Polo Grounds.
Definitely definitely probably going to be on the Lions.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I got to look more into Tampa and Philly, especially with the injuries to Philly, dude. That could be back in the Bucks next week.
Yeah.
There's no way I'm laying 9.5.
Well, the Phillies might not the Phillies. The Eagles might be underdogs.
Nah, they're 2.5-point
Eagles
favorites.
minus 2.5.
What's the over under?
44.5.
Might have to take that under.
Yep. Probably.
Because the Bucks only put up 9 points versus the Panthers today.
Yeah, the Bucks offense hasn't looked good. I think Baker Mayfield got hurt today too. He came back. He came back in the game, but he got hurt.
No, he played the full game. No other QB played.
After one of the drives, dude, he was hurt. He went in the medical tent, and the Carolina should have won that game too. They had 2 touchdowns called back.
Damn.
Team sucks, dude. Team's absolute fucking dog shit. Anyways, let's get some best bets for tomorrow, for this week.
Here we go.
What do you guys like?
Go ahead, Ben.
No, you go.
Tomorrow I think the national championship is going to be a lot more competitive than what people think, and I think it's might be a low-key shootout. I like the over 56.5.
All right.
I'm gonna stay away from that one as my best bet because I'm not a college guru. So I'm not gonna go for a Monday best bet, but I'm gonna go for a Tuesday best bet. And we're gonna go back to hating on the Sharks. We're gonna go Toronto minus 1.5 here. Toronto just won 4-1 with Mackenzie Blackwood in the net, and in my opinion, he's a better goalie than Kiko Kekkonen. And even though Kiko's got a better record. I still think Blackwood, he has stood on his head and is the better goalie out of the two there. His numbers are bad because in the few games that he's had a blowout, goals against. Maple Leafs are going to be at home. They just won 4-1. You still have Sharks injuries. And you got Toronto scoring over a goal and a half more per game on average, as well as a goal less allowed per game on average. Power play's better, penalty kill's better. Let's go Toronto -1.5.
What's the -1.5? Like -150?
No, Toronto -1.5. It's going to be about 140, 130.
All right. My best bet for tomorrow is Michigan -4.5. I like Michigan. Contrarian favorite. Love these plays. This game's going to be very similar to last year where everyone's on the dog and Michigan's going to win pretty handily, I believe. And then Jim Harbaugh's going to ride off into the sunset to the Los Angeles Chargers. He will be the Chargers' next head coach. Yes. I might have some college basketball plays. It's a nasty slate tomorrow, though. Nasty slate.
Okay, just confirmed. While they don't reseed, the host of each game is determined by the seeding number, not position in the bracket.
Right, so the only way Detroit could have home field advantage is if the Niners lose.
Correct. The conference final game would be in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Yep. Excuse me, Santa Clara.
Levi's. All right, fellas. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. If you missed any of the show, you can catch it on the podcast, Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you get your podcasts from, Google as well. Make sure to download the Sharps app, SHARPZ, to your mobile device. Use promo code JORD517. Track your bets. Become a better. It is free. With all that being said, follow the podcast on X at @Taproom_sports. Follow myself at Jordan Wills TSP. Follow Irv at Swervin Irvin TSP. Follow us on Instagram at Taproom Sports Podcast. We'll be back Tuesday night to break down these playoff games in depth. Tune in. We had a good show last week. We hit some best bets, so tune in. We'll be back. Have a great Monday. Enjoy the national championship. We'll talk to y'all later. Peace.